Welcome to Decades, hosted by Chris Rubio. Decades is a show made up of 5 generations of people brought together to discuss topics you wouldn't normally talk about with others. The goal of the show is to learn by having some good, possibly heated discussions, without losing the simple fact that it's okay to talk to different people with different opinions other than your own.
And welcome, and here we are with another great episode of Decades. I am joined by Alex on Tech, Jim the Nature Boy, the Crazy Man, and we've got TC and ZC. TC is Terry Crosby's brought his son Zach with him tonight, and we've got some great news. This is Decades, what we're calling Lite and Chill. And it is the same.
Light and chill.
Light and chill, exactly. Not just light. Light and chill. It's not just, it's Decades. We're all one big family. But as we all know, those who follow the show, between Rubio and I, Rubio is the spicier one, and I'm the more chill and light one, I guess we could say. So we decided to do this. It's the same thing we've been doing for the past weeks. We're running an episode opposite of Rubio's hosting. Also, fun. We're having another episode tomorrow, so make sure to tune in to that, to our post-election coverage. Rubio has a great lineup with great topics. Jimmy, yes. What do you have to say?
I got a question.
Of course, you always do, Jim.
The questions are good.
Yeah, they are. Yep, they are.
I'm very inquisitive. So, the intro. Do you think you'll change the intro part at all,
Jim?
On the light version?
What do you think, Jim? What do you think? Do you think we should? What do you think we should do?
It's not up to me.
But Jim, you've got all
absolutely, Ed. You're the host of this show.
It's not hosted by Chris Rubio.
You're right. You know what? You are absolutely right. Maybe I should, kick him
his name any more than we already do. So
that's true too.
He can see this, right?
Yeah, if he's watching,
he better be watching. First of all,
he better be watching. He better be watching.
He's watching the election. He's glued. He's probably got multiple screens up. There's probably this one.
Probably does.
He's probably over at Judge's house. Just
oh yeah.
Oh look! All right, this is awesome. All right. And Pete Johnson,
hello,
Jamaican, my man. We
Sorry,
are live.
late.
Oh, that's all right. It's like I told you when we were talking. Everybody here, all the Decadian panelists.
What's up, Pete?
The 4 people watching so far.
Nice to meet you all.
This is my friend Pete Johnson from high school. Pete and I, like I said, I was telling you about. This is the Decadian panelist. That's Alex on Tech. You know me. That's Jim the Nature Boy. I went to St. Joe's with Jim.
Oh, cool.
Crazy man.
I want to say, wait a minute, Pete. I want to say Gonzaga High School.
Gonzaga College High School. Yes.
I got it. Ed, how about that?
Yeah, that's all my Jesuits. You got all these
Jesuits.
Yeah. Where did you go to high school, Jim?
St. Augustine Prep.
Yeah, you went to St. Augustine, right? Yeah, you're not a Jesuit, but you were there with the Hurley. With the Hurley boys, right?
No, that's St. Anthony's. We're south. Yeah, they were up in Jersey City. No, it's all good.
Then we got Crazy Man. That's Alan Cole. He's my one and only friend here in the neighborhood.
At least you got one.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is Terry Crosby and his son Zach.
Hey, Terry.
I know Terry through Chris Rubio, who you've been chatting with me with.
Yep.
And that's his son Zach. Actually, since you guys are new, and there's now 6 people watching us. We just ran one off. It was 7. Pete, why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we can kind of go from there.
Okay, sure. I'm Pete Johnson. I know Ed. Ed and I were classmates in high school, like I mentioned. And it's funny, today I called him for the first time. I think the first time I heard his voice, like on a phone call, in like not even
30 years. Probably 30 years.
It was like we just stopped talking. It was great. It was,
yeah.
We have that bond from those 4 years. Anyway, I'm married. I have 3 children. They're all pretty much grown. Daughter's 24, lives in Brooklyn. Son 21, lives in Brooklyn. Son 19, still lives here. I'm in the Hudson Valley in Stuyvesant, New York. I have my own company. I co-founded a creative advisory firm. I have a background in advertising and marketing and entertainment. It's called Love and Respect. It's about a year old, and we're starting to get some traction, which is fun. And nice. I guess the only other thing about me, I am a volunteer firefighter in my town. I just graduated from 6 months of training, and I'm now a New York State certified interior firefighter, and I'm an elected fire commissioner. I'm a New York State elected official in my district.
That's awesome, people. Well, actually, I didn't realize that was where you were going was it your business. I thought you joined something, so that's real cool. Yeah, and I don't know if I've told you this. I probably haven't, since we haven't talked in 30 years on the phone, at least. We've chatted otherwise. My brother lives in Queens. He actually just a year or two ago, no, probably 2 years now, moved from Chelsea, because his wife at one point worked for Google over in Chelsea. So
down in
So he's well, that's cool. That's great. So you're kind of sort of empty nesters, kind of like a lot of us here.
Very close. Yeah, very close.
And Zach, how about
not Zach?
No, not Zach. So Zach, since you were on here now too, let's get a little bit. Who are you, and why? And tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I am Zach Crosby. I am 30. I have 5 kids.
Wow.
That's what we said.
Yeah. And they're my oldest just turned 9 yesterday. Youngest is 2. And I am currently I run a division of a company that does access control, security, cameras, things like that. So in the tech space, run a lot of cable, break into a lot of buildings, and enjoy my time doing that and hanging out with my family. So
that's awesome. Well, glad you guys could both. Well, Zach was a surprise. Pete was more. I knew Pete was coming, so so that was good. So before I go any further, I think we're all watching the election play out here. And I had a conversation with another Gonzaga boy, Pete, Hector Nicodemus.
Why would you make an assumption that we're all watching the election?
Because I'm
in my shed. I'm not even near any TV.
Well, we were going to tell Pete that you live in a shed. You just shared that we live in a shed.
Looks like Scrano's in a shed.
Yeah, Scrano is in it.
I'm in my man shed. Yeah,
but
no interruptions.
All right, I'm watching the election play out.
Give us an
update. I have to say is I got to give my boy Hector Nicodemus a shout out. We were talking earlier today. He told me that Virginia was going to be in play, and I told him he was full of something. And actually, Virginia is in play right now. So, Hector Nicodemus, thank you very much.
Now it's 50% Trump, 48.3 to Kamala.
Yes, she was.
Is that how you say it? Kamala?
No, it's Kamala.
Kamala.
All right, so let's. So, what's everybody? So let's get a feeling. So Alex, what do you think? And how? So far, we're 2.5 hours in from the East Coast. What's your feel?
Well, I hope Trump will win, but not in California.
So all right, that's good. So I mean,
I get it. That's good.
Yes, yeah.
Slovakian, he might win a few counties, but not the whole state.
So New York's pretty blue there, Pete. So what's the kind of the vibe coming from your area?
I'm hoping Kamala wins.
Right.
I live in a very red area of upstate New York.
Okay.
So, but it's interesting. I just there's like 3. I live right on the Hudson. We're really close to the Hudson, so there's like 3 ways to get to my house and into Stuyvesant. Did I lose you guys? Hello?
No, you're fine. No, you're just
that's Ed being Ed.
That is crazy. You're directing. Could you go back, Ed, to the
yeah. Oh, you don't want to be Max Headroom?
Yeah, no, I'm just it's so good looking. I just want to kiss it. Okay. So no, but I've got a little OCD from my dad, so I count shit all the time. And coming 3 different directions. You can come to my house into Stuyvesant. It's a very small community, like from the north, from the south, or from the east. And so I did my errands, and outside of Stuyvesant, when I came in 3 different ways over the last week, I was counting signs, counting Trump signs, counting Kamala signs. I was counting any Democrat or Republican, Senate, whatever I saw. And it was ridiculously close. Like, I didn't expect to see so many Kamala, right? And I expected to see more Trump. And it wasn't like that before. And so I think, I don't know, this is just a small area, but it seems very indicative of the 50-50 kind of split that we seem to be seeing right now. Which is so incredible to me. Again, like, I mean, Ed and I grew up in DC. A big part, at least my life was New York and DC, or in DC area. If the 5 people are listening from DC, they'll say, you lived in Virginia. I lived in Virginia. But you kind of grew up with politics. My dad was in the FBI. My mom was in the CIA. And we were surrounded by people in the military and all that. So it was always top of mind. But I never felt like, it was a horse race. I never felt like the other side, was going to do harm to the country. It was just like, okay, well, they believe this and we believe that. And it's just so different now. And I think it's so much about the way the media tells a story. And I think all media, not just mainstream media. I think independent media is also going for clicks and telling stories. So anyway, I'm babbling, but it's just much closer than I thought it would be totally red up here, and it's not. So, because I've only met 3 people that are Democrats up here. So,
go ahead, Alex. What's up? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, what I did notice, like in my area, like prior elections, like when Trump against Biden or Trump Hillary, or when Obama was, running 2 times, it was all of it, basically Democratic signs, Obama or Hillary or Biden. This time around on the street where I live, I only saw 2 Harris wall signs. Okay, only 2. I used to be like pretty much each and every like house had Democratic signs. And also on a main street close to where I live, I saw a big billboard for Kamala, and I was like, why does she need to spend money in California? I mean, it was kind of crazy to me. I never seen it before, so it's kind of a little bit news to me as far as political advertisement and how people feel, and what parties spend money on in California. It was a bit different this time around compared to previous elections.
That makes sense. Yeah. Why would you spend money? Why would if you're a Democrat, if you're her, why do you spend money in a place that you have a stronghold?
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead, Jim. Jim the
I just
Nature
have
Boy.
a question for Pete real quick. So mom was in the CIA, dad was in the FBI. Did I get it right? Okay.
Yeah.
And do you mind me asking what was their political?
No, he'd have to kill you though if he.
Were they both Democrats? Were they both Democrats?
I thought you were going to ask what his mom did for the CIA. Then he'd have to kill you.
Shut up, Ed.
I don't remember. Every time I probably had political conversations with them, I was an annoying teenager or young 20.
Yeah.
So my memory might be false, but my dad grew up in a very left-wing liberal New York family, and he kind of rebelled a bit and kind of went center right for a lot of his political life. He's still with us, but I think he's more center right usually. I don't know if that means he always votes the straight ticket. He probably messes it up. My mom was independent. I remember is what my mom passed away in 2002, but thanks. But she was more independent left. So, but my grandparents were, as some people will say, as Jeff Trilling would say, Ed, were practically communists.
Practically communist? Is that what you said?
Yes. But if you ever want to follow somebody who just go on Facebook, find Jeff Trilling. He's another classmate of ours.
I don't think he needs any more followers. He's like, we were joking today in our little chat that he's like so extreme right. He's coming back around to left. So it's very confusing.
I don't think that's possible.
No, well, his post. Well, go to his page. Sometimes you're like, wait a minute, I don't understand. So you're saying this is good now? Like, it's weird.
Yeah. So how about TC and ZC? What are you guys thinking? How so far? I mean, you guys are out west.
No.
Either way, what?
No, they're in Alabama.
Yeah,
I'm in Texas.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Why did I think? You said you were in Alabama. Yeah. Why did I think? Where are UTC?
I'm in Alabama with him. We're together.
Well, that.
I thought AI
No
was
shit. No kidding.
man.
Okay, no kidding. No, my question to you: do you live in Alabama?
No, I live in just about 40 minutes west of San Antonio, Texas. But
Okay, all right. Okay, so you're further. Okay, so you're a little.
Originally
All
in
right.
so
Right. Okay. All right. So let's back to what we were saying. So the man with all the kids.
Yeah. So I honestly haven't been checking the election at all today.
Here's the latest update for you from our friend Hector.
Yeah. So my thing is, I did vote. Alabama, my district only had Republicans running anyway.
Right.
And so I did vote for Trump. My thing is, I'd rather burn it all down and start over. I don't think either party is meeting anybody's needs and doing a good job at upholding morality or building a country together. So I voted, but it was more so my wife could go because she was asking to go vote. So
I hear you. That's good. What about you, TC?
yeah, I voted for Trump, but he was not my first choice. Neither was she. I basically, to use the cliche, voted the lesser of two evils in my mind.
Right.
And I wasn't necessarily voting. I think a lot of times we get into this thing of, and I'm not saying that this is Pete's case, but people that vote for Kamala are not voting for her; they're voting against Trump.
Amen.
Or people that are voting for Vice President Harris, they hate, they don't like Trump, so I'll vote for her, or I don't like her, so I'll vote for Trump. And I think, we've talked over the last couple of weeks, where did all of the candidates go? When there was a steam to, it wasn't, that we're pushing the next guy. And those guys they were gods. I mean, there was a respect and esteem to even the person who didn't win, and there was honor. And I don't see a lot of it anymore.
No.
And
along the lines of what you guys were just saying, because I kind of fit into that mold where right's too extreme, left's too extreme, and for the first time, and I think I calculated 37 years of voting, I voted third party, so I could sit back and watch one of them burn it all, like Zach said, burn it all down to the ground. I voted for the Libertarian, and when I went in there, I didn't know if I would be able to pull the trigger, and I did, and I was. And you know what? It's fine because they're both, to your point, Terry. You're right. I think a lot of the people are not voting for the candidate; they're voting not for the other candidate.
So I'm confused.
Go ahead, Jim. We'll help you out.
You started out talking about our predictions on the election, and next thing you know, everybody's fessing up. I voted for Trump. I voted for Libertarian. All right.
Why not?
If I could piggyback Terry, because I would pretty much say what he said. Except for I'm a little bit like you, Ed, where I would love to vote for the third party, but I almost feel like Rubio would have better insight on how that would impact the two horses that actually have a chance in the race. And that's what I have a problem with. It's always a 2-horse race. You'll never have anything but two candidates. And I don't like that.
Excellent.
I don't like politics, really, but
hold on. I gotta address this comment from my friend Hector. No, I'm not sitting on the fence. I'm ready for a third party candidate. And as
we've had him, Ed. We've had him.
No, but see, no. But
they're not going to win.
The only one that did anything.
But that was years ago. We need to move forward, guys. We need to be forward thinkers. We need to kind of think this country's ready for a third.
Thinkers. So you're going to take over all the mass media that's controlled by the far left.
Wow, you guys!
And you're going to convince everybody.
It's time. Change is painful, Jimmy.
He's not convincing anybody. He expressed his opinion.
Just like your hairdo.
Yeah.
Nope. Made a statement, Hector. It's a statement.
You're right.
Anyway.
I didn't have the balls, Ed. I didn't have the balls. Kudos to you.
But no, to each their
No,
own.
seriously.
But go ahead, Crazy Man. What are you thinking?
I think I voted for the lesser two evils, and we're going to leave it as that.
Yeah, we know who that is.
But one of the things we also have to look at is whoever wins Pennsylvania, 90% of the time wins the White House. So that is one thing you're going to have to look at on how much money they dumped into Pennsylvania. And unfortunately, the only people that have won at any time of an election just like this is media. They set their rates on how much they get to rake in on the money. And right now, you just basically have to look at Pennsylvania because that is definitely the one that leads to the White House.
I saw, along those lines, I saw a quick interview or a quick piece this morning on either CNN or I've been going just so you don't all jump down my throat. I go to
no, this is decades light. You're all right.
Yeah, this is light. This is light. Now, if you tomorrow night, if you make that comment, you may have to put your fists up. But tonight, you're fine.
All right, cool. Anyway, no, but they were just talking. They were highlighting certain races, and it was a Senate race in Ohio, which Sherrod Brown is going for his 4th term, and he's a Democrat, and he's up. I forgot the name of the Republican, but anyway, between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party and all the super PACs and dark money and corporate money that piles in there, in this one Senate race, they have spent $497 million.
Oh, nice
race.
Now we sit here and we sit here when you have these conversations about
$500 million for Ohio, and I can't remember I don't even know the Republican's name. I should know that if they spent that much. I watch TV all the time. I watch this shit all the time. I don't know what his name is. I don't even know if it's a man. I have no idea.
$500 million, and we have people. We have hungry people in this country.
Totally.
I think it's going to be a really close race. I think it's going to be really, really tight. Really tight.
Yeah, it is.
Alan said it might come down to Pennsylvania,
and it's going to be terrible because I'm going to have to go back to Hector, who just told me I wasted my vote on a third party, and he's actually told me that Virginia was in play, and I didn't believe him. And well, I guess I should trust my friend Hector's insights. Maybe he can.
Does Hector have the lotto numbers for tomorrow night then?
Exactly. So hold on, here you go. To your point, Pete.
Yeah.
Now, me too, brothers. Now,
White Castle burgers, yes.
That's a lot of White Castle burgers for $450 whatever million you said.
Sure.
Now this guy right here, Pete. This is a guy I went to grade school with. so it just keeps going on. Yeah, exactly.
You got it all covered.
And he did tell me this today too.
That's something Rubio would have said.
Yes, I should have voted twice. Exactly.
Rubio would have said you got a half a vote. That's what he would.
Yeah, but I should I get twice. Yeah.
2 for 1 sale.
Yeah, 2 for 1. Yeah, exactly. All right. So moving on. So it's been this whole campaign cycle has been. They've been harsh going both ways, back and forth. So what do you think? From a country's psyche, from a personal psyche, from just a mental drain on, they're both guilty of it. They're calling them, Hitler. He's calling her, almost calling her the B word, and so on and so forth. So, what do you think that's doing to our society mentally, and what do you think the result of whatever plays out in the next 72 hours plus is going to do? We already got a mental health crisis here in the country. What do you think it's going to do?
Oh, I think the younger generation is going to lose their crap.
Explain.
You have the Gen X and all those that we've been through all these elections and so forth. And it's like TC said, there was a respect on how things were done. Now, over the last 15, 20 years, we've lost that respect from one another. And now you have the younger generation that wants to get their voice out. They want to know that they're this gender or that gender, and whatever floats your boat, that's fine. I really don't care. But when things don't go their way, they're going to stump their feet like little kids and cry and whine. Because if you remember back when Trump won, and we discussed this before, Ed, is when Trump won the presidency the first time, the college kids lost their crap, and they couldn't hold it together, and campuses gave in, saying that they didn't have to take final exams because they were so distraught.
Do you think we see that? Does that happen? Does that happen again if Trump? I'll be like Rubio. If El Trumpo wins, do we have that again, or is it either way, or if Kamala wins? What do we?
I think if Trump wins, you're going to see a lot more protest rioting and destruction, truthfully. If you look at when Black Lives Matters were in the Capitol and so forth, they did like $4.5 million around, just not there, but everywhere. But when they stormed the castle during January 6th, they did like $1.5 million worth of damage. And that was just one location. So I see that the Democrats would do a lot more because they want their voices heard, saying that this is unfair. I don't see the Republicans really storming and rioting like the Democrats.
Anybody else?
I disagree.
All right, go ahead.
I think. Well, first of all, I would say having kids, 19, 21, and 24, they've seen a lot of shit. I mean, let's give them a little grace. That population, like aside from whining, think of all the stuff they've gone through. They've seen 9/11. You didn't see 9/11 when you were 6 years old or 4 years old.
No, but I did see the shuttle blow up on national TV and still go to school.
I saw the shuttle blow up too. And Ed, I had an AP test, and the only thing that went through my head, I was cramming for it in my car in the parking lot. I was like, wait, I wonder if I can get out of my test for this. We ended up having to take the test. But I'm, again, hey,
exactly.
I'm just saying, think of the economics, think of the unprecedented times that they've lived through on a pretty fast pace compared to, I'm 55, compared to my generation, right? Just park that over here. The other thing I would agree with, I think that I don't necessarily think they're whiners. I mean, that I think it's a little too simplistic or just topical to say, yeah, there are a lot of whiners, and Gen X is the best generation, so we all know that. But we were left to our own devices and didn't, we just whatever, you guys did it all. So I would just say to me, again, having grown up in a family of an FBI agent and a CIA agent or analyst, sorry. The
agent sounds better.
Yeah, but she was. but it's this kind of lack of respect for institutions. I mean, yes, I think there's lack of respect between each other and people, but that's I think I blame social media for that.
But Pete, I think you make a good point that those generations, like my kids are 21 and 18, and yeah, they went through all that, but it's more like they're anesthetized to these types of things. Alan, you're saying, I think what I see is we've lowered our expectations like so low and holding not only kids accountable, but everybody accountable, including the politicians. TC started out talking about honor, right? There's not even a freaking grain of honor, let alone ethics or morals or anything. It's just, I mean, for me, I thought the question was like, how is it affecting people from a mental health? I mean, I don't. Every time I turn on the TV or look anywhere or listen anywhere, it's just ad after ad, and they're not promoting policies and even talking politics at all. They're just saying, "You're this." It's name calling. I feel like I'm at school.
Jimmy, it's however people want to answer take the question. It's a general.
I think Jim's right. I mean, when you're looking at this, like as a teacher, I mean, I've worked in all levels, and working with high schoolers, they're just, I mean, they're not looking at the responsibility. There is no respect. As TC said, there's no honor. I mean, we had a thing that if the pledge was saying or the national anthem, kids stopped. But the moment of silence, you're still supposed to stay standing. But you have kids walking through the halls, or they don't have to say the pledge. But when I busted
it's
a kid,
a societal thing, though.
Right.
It's
Okay. But let's not go down.
My daughter's professor canceled class because today was election day. Like what?
But hold on.
People
But
going
hold
to
on.
work for
That
10 hours. They were still able to work. Like, why can't you teach your college class?
Well, first of all, I think that begs the question. Really, the election day should be a national holiday, so everybody can vote.
Okay,
so everybody can vote. So to that professor, he's just 1 second, Alex, and I'll get you to that professor's credit. Hopefully, he did it with the incentive saying, "Hey, people."
I'm just saying.
Jim, do you know that's rude to interrupt somebody when they're talking without saying, "Excuse me"?
That's your opinion.
Put him
in
the corner.
Oh yeah. Hey, Pete, if you get too mouthy with me, that's what happens to you. You go to the corner. Go ahead, Alex. Jim's in the corner for a moment.
Yeah, don't bring up the Dodgers either. You'll end up back there.
Yeah, you end up. Yeah, Dodgers will get you there. But anyway, no.
I think I was going to make 2 points. First point: some people just need reason to riot. Okay, again, when Dodgers won last Wednesday, we had a few street takeovers in LA, and a Nike store was robbed. Okay, so it was a happy occasion, but people still found a way to f things up. Okay, and second point I was gonna make as far as Pledge of Allegiance that I just heard. We have one of the council members on LA City Council who was asked to recite Pledge of Allegiance, and he couldn't. Okay, I mean, he was like basically, well, it's crazy. Okay, I mean, just if you think about it, well, it just doesn't make any sense. But he was like totally stuck trying to.
But to Jim, to the Nature Boys comment before I had to discipline him.
See, Pete, we went to college together, not great.
Yeah, let's take to his point. From a mental health perspective, the negative campaigning, all that stuff. I mean, reading the paper every day and stuff, it kind of gets and watching the ads and so on. For me, it kind of got tiring. It was like, oh, what, it's like the same stuff. And that kind of plays on you after a while, and I think that kind of beats.
I got a question. So I trust like Terry and Pete and probably everybody on the panel has more like political knowledge than I do. But Zach, if one of the candidates just decided to go the opposite way and not slander and name call and just drag them through the mud, I think they would win just on that basis.
Yes,
I think
it's like the George Costanza rule. You do the opposite of what.
Yeah, but that's part of the game that politicians are playing is to have notoriety, get their names in the papers, good or bad.
Right.
I don't think it's polarizing is what is selling them as a. I mean, I don't see them as much different than any other movie star, media personality at this point.
Right.
So you know what I mean. The publicity is good either way. My big thing about the elections that I've been a part of is I don't think we take our local elections as seriously anymore because news agencies, the media is not covering those things, and that should be way more important to us in our communities than any president even is. And one, I think the federal government's way too big anyway to have. The federal government's supposed to be tiny. kind of direct and make sure that there's a path that the whole nation is going on. But I think the states need way more power than they do, but all our local and county, state elections are kind of pushed down to the bottom in a banner, while you hear
right.
Presidential.
That's a good point,
and that's frustrating to me because it's like we can actually make changes here in our communities for what we want or what our communities want, and we're kind of ignoring that because all we see on TV is the president.
Zach, what about what Alex is worried about, like with riots and stuff? You don't have any worry where you are down there in Alabama, right?
I mean, I think I walked down the street today, and so I work in an office where there's 78 employees. I think 70, probably 85 of them out of 75. No, all of us carry. Everybody. I mean,
do you guys have open carry down there or concealed carry?
We have constitutional carry, so whatever you want, however you want.
Alrighty then. What do you carry? What do you carry, Zach?
Okay, so that's
You guys wear cowboy hats too?
Yes, they do.
I wore my car to work this morning. When I take the horse, I wear the cowboy hat. So.
Yeah.
Excellent.
When he's not wearing his Roll Tide hat.
That's right.
Exactly. They all wear yeah, it's actually probably being down there is just like being in Knoxville, Tennessee. If you're not wearing orange,
But you'll get in a bigger fight, Alabama or Auburn, than just about any political opinion you have.
Oh, probably. That's it. Yeah. Everything stops on game day Saturday. Go ahead, Alex.
Well, okay. Also, what I was going to add, like when people people on the View call Trump fascist so many times, I am basically totally numb to it because I know what fascism is. You know, my grandpa and my uncle fought Nazis during the Second World War, and I know that he's a Nazi. Okay, I mean, you can call him any names, you can call him some other names, but he's not even close to be fascist. Okay, if you ask me, if you really know what fascism is and who Hitler was, you know, I mean, it's not even close.
But that name calling just filters right down into society. Like kids think it's perfectly acceptable to call each other names, you know.
Terry, you're quiet. Terry, you're quiet.
Just listen to my kid. Let it rain, man. It's a proud dad moment.
You're allowing him to bring the bacon.
I have another pushback. So
go ahead.
I am obviously conservative on a lot of things, but one thing you guys were talking about was the Pledge of Allegiance. So that is something I do not recite. I did as a child. I don't say it. I do not teach my kids it. And I don't expect them to say it either. And the reason is, although I love our country, I don't want to be tied, me or my kids. I want them to look at it as something to change and grow, but it is not this unbinding allegiance that we pledge to. Especially again as a federal level, it's not because I hate our soldiers or hate the people at all. But I don't think an undying pledge that we just make children memorize for the sake of some sort of patriotism actually builds our community. I think I'm really focused on community and small communities, not these large federal governments. So to just, I mean, yeah, me and Pete probably disagree on a lot of things, but we live in very different areas and do very different things. And so, you know, I don't think the things that I necessarily think I should force Pete to do and vice versa. But we should surround ourselves with those communities that do encourage the things we both enjoy or face towards. And that's why
you got any Amish population down there? You got any Amish population?
No.
That reminds me of their communities. Yeah.
No, he doesn't really ride in a horse. In a second, he really doesn't ride in a horse and buggy, for God's sake. You know, the man's in Alabama. He's not in Lancaster.
Wow, it's Lancaster.
Hey, Pete? I'll get you in a second. I have a follow up for Zach on that. Along those lines, that you're talking about the Pledge of Allegiance. What is your position if like Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the Pledge of Allegiance because that's the anthem, the national anthem, for the reasons why he did? Do you support him in that way, or is that something different in your mind?
I'm jumping in on this one.
Oh,
no, actually, I wanted Zach just because of his pledge, but you can.
Dad is bailing him out.
I'll jump in. I support his right to do that 100%. I think he's an idiot, but I support his right to do it. Because I will defend to my core his right to do so. I will defend to my core somebody's right to burn the flag, but I also have the right to defend that flag.
Right.
I have the honor because I took a pledge, but it's his right to do so.
Okay, exactly.
We call that
that's what the soldiers fight for.
Exactly.
Actually, and that's what I think a lot of people miss.
Unfortunately, you gave him that right to do that.
100%.
And that's why I agree with you 100%. No, 100% agree. I'm literally lockstep with you on that one. I was just curious if Zach was like, no.
I 100% agree because this time it was Colin Kaepernick, kneeling for his issue. The next thing I might need to kneel for something that I truly believe in.
Right.
That same pushback.
Pete, then Jim. Pete was up next. Pete had something, then Jim.
Yeah. Oh, well, just going back a little bit to what Zach, when you're talking about local elections, I at least in my community, because I live in a very small community, I've met all the candidates and people running at the firehouse, at different events. They've been very accessible from all, like, independent, Democratic, Republican as well. And they're all, I mean, again, my beliefs lined up more with the Democrat in a couple of races, but they're all politicians. I just get the same feel from them. But again, my attitude has changed a lot since I became a firefighter, just because I'm like one of the few, one or two liberal progressives in the firehouse, as you might imagine. But we never really talk about. It's funny. I don't talk about politics that much in my regular life. I'm an avid fan of it and follower of it, but it's just fun. Maybe it's just because I was the new kid on the block, but like everybody wanted to talk to me about politics. Like the last year, everybody wanted, like, anytime we were doing something not fire related, if there was a downtime, they all like, so you must be like, holy shit, like Trump's going to kick Biden's ass. I'm like, maybe. It's like some guys are wearing "fuck Joe Biden" shirts, like, and I'm like, cool. I never in a million years would wear a "fuck Trump" shirt. I don't understand
that.
It might be also related to the last time. Every time I bought a mug or a bumper sticker or a shirt for someone running for president, they lose. So I haven't done it since Kerry.
Go ahead, Jim.
I'll sell you one right now.
But anyway, so but
that's society. That's society, Pete. That's what we were talking about. Like, it's just.
But I guess I want to just fine tune what I said too. Like, again, I've never felt any even though they're in my face sometimes, I never felt any animosity. It's just kind of, they were kind of like having fun with me. And they still do, and I do back, but I don't have the same seniority yet that I don't have that freedom because I've only been there for 2 years, right? And some guys have been there since they were 18. But I just wanted to follow up too on the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, Zach. I also, because we say it a lot at every meeting at the firehouse. And for me, this is such a new thing. It is a by rote thing. I feel exactly the way you do about it. Have my whole life, actually, once I started going, why are we saying this? But it does give a sense of community because it's a ritual. It's a common thing that we can all get around. That's how we start the meeting. Then we have a moment of silence for fallen firefighters, and then the meeting starts. Then we're yelling and screaming and talking and whatever. But I mean, the origins, I haven't checked this, but the origin, my understanding of the pledge was, first of all, it was written by a socialist minister, American socialist minister, in response to a similar pledge that was happening in communist Russia, Soviet Russia at the time. And so that kind of gained popularity in certain parts of the country. Somebody even used it to put it in with flags that they were selling to schools. And it became kind of a thing that it was a marketing thing at first. And then I think Eisenhower put it into the flag code, actually. But for many years, it was just kind of, it came with your flag kind of thing.
Right. Does anybody know when it originated? What was the year that it was like?
I want to say it was in the 50s. I don't know.
1950s.
Well, it was written in 1892.
Okay. So my question for Zach was going to be
Eisenhower. It wasn't until Eisenhower put it into the flag code in the 50s. Yeah.
I'm just curious. This is kind of the teacher in me, Zach. So I totally get your stance here in 2024, but if you could beam yourself back in history, say, I don't know, 1900,
Okay.
Would you feel the same way?
Yeah, probably. My whole experience is based on the life I've lived here, though.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But it'll be familiar. Everybody will have guns back then too, so you'll be fine.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll fit right in.
It's not. I don't even think it's about that because we started on a certain.
Yes, we are, Chris. We're going back to the future.
And everything. I would. So I don't agree with a lot of our history. In as much as
you don't agree with the history.
Well,
the history is the history.
No, the history is the story that was told.
You mean what we told?
No. I wouldn't support all the decisions that was made.
Okay,
that's what I mean. So I can't say for sure I would feel one way or the other, but I know with what I see now as a nation is not something that I can support. Maybe if I was there, I would.
Yeah.
But
I guess it's tough for me being in a public school and we start the day with that. Like I do feel like ritual is important. Now, if a kid didn't want to say it, nobody's going to make a big deal about it. You know what I mean? But
and depending on the situation, like we are in the South, so it's very important to my kids where I teach my kids respect and showing honor and deference to their elders and things like that. So when we go to an event with family, grandparents, things like that, I do have them stand. It's not like
right.
It's not for me. It's not. I'm not making a statement. I'm more.
I get it.
Words I say something. So I'm not
going with your true beliefs.
Right, but I'm not going to make a show out of it because that's not what
right.
For.
Well, heck, we all said the Pledge of Allegiance growing up. I mean, even in the Catholic schools, you said the morning prayer, and then you said the Pledge of Allegiance. And if you didn't, the nun was going to smack you. And if you cried, the nun was going to smack you harder.
Ed, bring out all your trauma, Ed. That's good.
Actually, our nuns. We had I think we had two nuns in the whole school. It's all right. No, I'm kidding. No, that's no. I was going to say, Jim, though, asking Zach that question's like asking me, hey, Ed, if you were 6'6", what would you be doing now?
Would you play basketball?
Yeah.
I thought it was a fair question, Ed.
That's all right. No, TC, I think I'd be tight. I want to be tight end somewhere. Be one of those 6'6" tight ends.
All right, careful with the tight end stuff.
So yeah. Well, that was a good conversation, guys. We're coming up on almost 50 minutes.
Yeah, Rubio is going to want to recruit Pete, by the way. Are you going to be on tomorrow, Pete?
Yeah, he is going to be on tomorrow.
I'll see. I'm going to try. I'm going to the city. I have meetings in the city, and I'm staying with a friend, so I'll see if I can.
If not, he's going to be on the next one. I got him and another friend of ours who will be on. Yes, Rubio already vetted him. It's all right. He got the blessing from the Pope. No, so
Catholic references.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, this was a real good episode. I thought that was a real good conversation to end it. I don't want to kind of dive into something else.
Real quick.
Come on,
do your Washington Commanders. Come on.
All right, so we're here. Okay.
Oh,
you got.
We're here. Okay, so let's talk. So let's talk about the NFC. Let's talk about the NFC East. Pete, you still following? You still Commanders, Redskins fan?
My team. I love the Baltimore Colts, man. They're my team this year.
Yeah,
the Baltimore Colts. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Is that the team with the quarterback that took himself out of the game because he was tired?
I'll laugh.
Did you see that?
Joke, I don't know the reference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was an NFL quarter. Was it NFL quarterback?
Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, no, I remember. Yeah,
the Colts. Yeah, he ran the ball and he tapped his helmet. Tapped his helmet. And they were like,
I did see.
What are you doing?
That was a few
what are you
years
doing,
ago.
dude?
I did see that.
Yeah.
No, actually, the Redskins are 7-2, the best start since 1996.
Today was the trade deadline, right?
Yeah, I got to see what my man did. I got to check the paper.
They got a nice cornerback.
Did we get the corner? That's what they were going to go.
I heard that on the news.
Yeah.
That's what we did. Well, God, we were
looking good, man.
But we're running the gauntlet now. We've got Pittsburgh next week. Then we've got 2 with the Birds. We've got 2 with the Cowgirls. And then we've got Tennessee. And I think that's it. Or maybe the Falcons.
Cowboys are in
You
bad
can't
shape.
beat the Cowgirls. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
We have to sweep the Cowgirls. If we don't, then that's a problem. And I know Zach probably doesn't follow pro football because he's Roll Tide.
That's right.
Zach, one more question about the South, because when I lived in Atlanta for a couple years, nothing was bigger than NASCAR.
NASCAR's still big, but
is it up there with college football, or it just depends?
College football still wins.
I guess because
Atlanta
didn't have a good college football team.
College football Saturday, NASCAR Sunday, but
yeah,
it's still very much college football.
All right.
Well, I gotta address Sammy's comment here because I'm kind of a Bears fan if they're not playing the Commanders, because my man Caleb Williams is a Gonzaga grad and Pete and I are Gonzaga grads. Yeah, played and then he's a Gonzaga grad. They retired his number 13, so I'm a part-time Bears fan there, Sammy. So thank you for watching.
Yeah, maybe if Dallas or didn't Dak Prescott tap out too, or
on the injured?
No, he got a ham. He
hammy.
Did you ever watch Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah.
And the guy's walking up the thing and goes, "No, I got a cramp." Yeah,
Maybe
that's the triple Lindy.
Maybe he can stop kneeling and Rosa Parks can come out of retirement.
Yeah. Well, did you see the meme that's going around where it looks like he's mouthing "We suck"?
Yeah.
Well,
he did. I saw that.
He added something.
He said it.
Yeah.
He says
it was a live mic.
Yeah. You didn't have.
Oh, I didn't hear the live mic. I just. I didn't even hear.
They had him
very clear.
Well, we were talking about candidates.
In the middle of that.
We were talking about candidates spending what $500 million on advertising for. Let's talk about Let's talk about an NFL football player who got paid $250 million to go and crap the bed on a team. Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones must be kicking himself every day.
For sure.
I don't know. That man's got so much money. I don't think he needs to kick himself.
Oh yeah, because he's not going to win a championship with Dak.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zach. Yeah. I wasn't thinking that you would be playing for Jerry. Zach and Dak sound close. But this was a good show, guys. And Pete, one of the things we do at the end is I pick the panelist of the show, and we cheers it, and most of the time. It's the new guy, Pete. You're the panelist of the night.
Oh, wow.
So we all raise a drink. I want to thank everybody. Zach, we actually have we're going to do co-panelists. Zach, you got it too, my man. You get nothing for it. You get nothing for it. You just get
a pat on
the back.
Yourself on the back.
Maybe you should have like a little hourglass for decades.
Zach.
A little sending to people.
We should.
Good work, Zach.
Zach, if you ever want to be back on it, man, you're always invited. You were really good. You bring another perspective.
Yeah, just bring a little audience with you, like at least 2 or 3 viewers.
Even if your kids like log on, they don't have to watch it. Just have them log on for God's sakes. Yeah. But actually, Terry, thanks for bringing them. Everybody, guys, we'll see you next time. Everybody watching, thank you. And remember, we're on again tomorrow. A little spicier episode with your favorite and mine, Chris Rubio. We're out.